Okay. Frank, you want the last word on this. Do you know God? I wish you guys could have heard the men's forum about this. I went home and got high. No, I'm playing. I'm joking. I'm just joking. I can hear them now. Jesse said he got high.
I was raised Catholic, so I used to believe
No,
that.
do you know God? Who
No,
is God?
I don't know.
I'm sorry?
I said I don't know. I used to think it was Jesus, and
Do you
but
do
I
you
don't
know
know.
God?
No,
I'm sorry?
no,
And how do you know that you don't know him?
because I used to think he was something that in my mind. So,
Okay.
bunch of confusion,
Okay.
So
Sean and Hate got the last word. Sean, do you know God? And who is God?
Yes.
And who is God?
He's the Father within. He reveals things to you from within.
Okay. Hake. Of the Hake report, do you know God? Who is God?
I'm not sure whether I know God or not.
You're not sure?
Yeah,
And why not?
because I feel like I can recognize truth sometimes, or recognize love, but I'm kind of confused in general.
Why is everybody laughing at you?
It's funny because it's true.
Amazing. Yes, sir. Do you know God? And who is God?
First off, nobody don't know God.
No, do you know God?
I'm talking about nobody.
No, do you know God?
I'm just messing with you, Jesse. I know.
I know.
Yes, I do.
And who is God?
God is love
And how do you know that?
because I've experienced it.
Meaning what?
I walked this journey. I looked at myself, and I found Him.
You found love
Yes,
or God.
He is love. So yes,
And what does his love feel like?
it doesn't feel like anything.
Okay. Amazing. The young lady next to you. She's a ex-Bible thumper. I can't wait to get to her.
Hang on a minute.
I'm learning how to be a wife for my husband.
I don't know where you got this ex-Bible thumper. I've never been a Bible thumper.
Oh, okay.
I was raised in church, but I weren't never a
Nice.
Bible thumper.
Do you know God?
I don't know.
I'm sorry?
I don't know.
I'm sorry?
I do not know.
And why do you say you don't?
Because I'm still thinking about it.
Okay. The young lady behind you. Do you know God?
Yes, I do.
You do know God?
Yes.
And who is God?
He's love
And how do you know that?
because I have a lot of peace.
You have a lot of peace?
And I don't care what anybody else thinks or says.
Okay. Amazing. So because of time, I want to really get into this, and if the Lord is willing, we'll pick up on it Sunday. But the one thing I do want to tell you without a doubt, and that's me for me and everybody in the world. If you think you know God, you don't know God. It's impossible to think about God. It's impossible. Every thought you get about God is from Satan. God is not into thinking. He doesn't give you thinking. He ain't care about the thinking. He is into the knowing. And you have learned about God. I and everybody have learned about God and been talking about God, but don't know God. He's not into the thinking. It's impossible to think about God. Even when you get the love feeling, or Sean said he got whatever feeling, right? Even a thought about that is not God. Satan is making you feel that way and telling you it's from God. The imagination is deceitful to the core. It's evil, it's deceiving, and it'll make you think you know God, and you don't. When you stop thinking, period, about anything really, then you shall know God. But when you think about that, you don't know God. I'm putting this out there so you work on yourself. I know everybody working on themselves, and I know how tricky this thing is, right? But if you really think about it, God said, bring every thought into captivity. Every thought about anything. And Satan is pretending to be God. He can read the Bible, he can quote the Bible, he can tell you exactly what you need to feel, what you need to think, and say that is love. That is God. And because you're not overcome the imagination yet, you'll believe it. Especially if someone says something about it, you'll think, well, that's it. I want to encourage you, get to a point, work on this. Get to a point where you hear knowledge, as we've done today. Watch yourself so the knowledge don't deceive you to make you think that you know. You got to admit to yourself, you know what, I just heard that point, I don't understand the rest of it. It's like when Francisco used to work on planes, airplanes, before he retired. And whenever I would talk to him, he would go on and on and on about an airplane. On and on for hours. I'm like, okay, I gotta go. I got tired of saying, oh yeah. Because you get to a point where he can tell you certain things about the plane, like it has wings. You put gas in it, and whatever, right? But then he get it because he knows the ins and outs of an airplane. He started telling me things about the plane. I would have to lie to say, oh yeah, that makes sense. It made no sense. It was just knowledge, but it made no sense. But I pretend that it made sense, and it didn't. I didn't know anything about all the ins and outs of the plane. That's how it is with wisdom. You got to watch knowledge. It's deceiving. You can only go so far with knowledge, and when you got to pay attention, you say, well, you know, I really don't understand that part of it. And when you can admit to yourself, I don't understand it, you will understand it. Because now knowledge would disappear, the imagination would disappear, and not deceive you to make you think that you do know. Then you're going to have to go out there quoting a lie. Because when you got this knowledge you think you understand, you're going to preach. You're going to tell everybody else what you think you know, or they don't know, or you're judging them, you're on them because you think you know. And it's all intellect. So when I say we have to watch ourselves, we really got to watch. When I tell you about, don't come up with a special thought or how to pull out one. You just watch all thoughts. You want to become the watchman and the watch lady so that the devil don't make you think that you know. Because he'll give you a warm feeling, and somebody say, oh, that warm feeling is love, right? And Satan will give you a warm feeling, and he'll tell you, oh, that's the love of God. And you'll believe it. Or whatever it is. The intellect is evil. That's why all intellectual people are evil. The imagination is deep and wicked, and it has no restrictions. It's all, Satan made a promise that he's going to rob, steal, kill, and destroy. And he's doing it through the thoughts, the imagination. Bring every thought into captivity, even the Bible, even everything. Read the Bible, but not to remember. Satan will use it against you. What do y'all think about that? Yes, sir, real fast.
So who is God, right? What I came up with that part of it was, he is me, but I am not him, right? So when I'm still, that's where he's at. That's where I meet him. But when I'm off into my imagination and all that other evil stuff, I'm totally removed from who I am. So who is, there is no who then, right? He can't be, because all those things we explained here was
God
what,
cannot
right?
be thought of.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, yeah.
And the things about the trees and all that, we only believe that because we've been told. We ain't never looked at no tree and see how it really got here. Nobody saw God creating the tree. Though we know he created all things intellectually, right? We do know that. But I hear people say, oh, when I look out at the trees, I see God. I'm like, you lying. You don't see no God. Your imagination see God. Your imagination see God. Because when you know God, you're going to have a clear and sound mind. Your mind won't be confused. But you can stay that way though if you want to. I'm not telling you living it right. That's right. It's not up for debate either, but I'm just telling you. God will give you a clear and sound mind. He really will. He loves you. He would not want you confused. He does not want you in your intellect. And he will use you in the right way to make you do your practical work too. He'll work with that as well. All right? So watch yourself. All I'm saying is, this is one other thing, real fast, and I'll talk about it more. Get rid of all your heroes. No more heroes. All right? When you fellowship with me or anyone, don't make them or yourself a hero. Next week, I want to talk about how we create heroes. I now understand that clearly. You don't want any heroes, period. That doesn't mean you don't appreciate people's talent. You see, like, wow, that's cool. But don't get rid of preacher heroes, deacon heroes, music heroes, president heroes, mama heroes, daddy heroes, brother, sister heroes, military heroes. No more heroes. I want you to work on that too. And when I come back here's what I want to do. This week, work on your heroes. I want to know how you got rid of them, if you get rid of them. And tell me how many heroes y'all had. All right? I really used to wonder, how do heroes come about? We were not allowed to have a hero when I was growing up. You would have got smacked in the face if you're talking about, that's my hero. And I appreciate that now. And now I understand why people get all messed up. So, here's your assignment for this week. Watch the heroes you have and get rid of them. And don't let me forget to bring this up the first thing, unless something crazy happened, all right? We'll talk about it next Sunday, all right? My brand new biblical question. Ooh. I had to write it down. I can't find it. Oh, here's my brand new biblical question. And the young man in the black shirt want to respond to it. I see it in him already. Yeah, you. Is it fair to believe a woman? Is it fair to believe a woman? You say?
I don't think so.
You don't think it's fair to believe a woman?
I mean, it depends on one's sense, but also not trying to be disrespectful, but a lot of women can be deceiving, and that's why I don't think it's fair to believe in them.
Amazing. Well, that's the biblical question for next week. I can hear Joel talk about it on Thursday. Tune into Joel Friday. Next week, Monday. Joel Friday TV. But listen, that's the biblical question. Is it fair to believe a woman? I heard a woman say this. Long story short, she was dating this guy, and they were all in love, smooching, love, right? And then the guy was falsely accused, and it went out in the media. And she believed it right away. Even though just minutes before and years, they loved one another. And then they found out that the person had made the story up. And the person had to go back to the media and say, I just made it. Matter of fact, she was paid to make the story up. Isn't that amazing? But the woman turned on him, and he's like, I thought you knew me. And she was like, well, you know, honey, it's fair to believe a woman, but not a man. Isn't it amazing? So that's the biblical question. I may have told this, answered it already. I know, huh? Yeah. Is it fair to believe a woman? All right, listen. Work on you. You are your world. And all this hell that you experience is in your world. It's in other people's world too, in them, but it's in your world. You can overcome it. Go forgive your mothers. Everybody hate their mothers. There's not one that don't. And forgive your fathers for not protecting you. Return to your father. And watch. That's all you need to do at this point, all right? Do the silent prayer, rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. And I wish you well this week. Work on you. You can have paradise right here on earth, or you can stay in your hell right here on earth. All right? But you got to forgive if you want heaven. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for your support. And thank you all. And we'll do the super chats Monday.